Welcome, everybody. My name is John Murphy. I chair the Chamber's Government Affairs Committee. We have our several of our team members here with us, and we are with School Board District 5 candidate Linda Powers. Linda is the incumbent seeking re-election. For those of you who might remember that the school board race was on the primary ballot, but as a reminder, how that works is we have one of the candidates needs to achieve at least 50% of the vote plus one. And when you had four horses in that race, it was a hard mathematical equation to get to. So we have a runoff, and we have Linda Powers with us today. So Linda, take just a couple moments and tell us a little bit about you and your candidacy.
Okay, certainly. I was born in the state of Florida. I'm a native Floridian. I have 3 children who also are native Floridians. My husband is a pediatrician, a doctor. He's been here, and he and I have been here since 77. So it's been a long time in Citrus County. We've enjoyed it very much. Both of us have volunteered in medical issues when children at school need to be examined for a certain thing, then we'll volunteer at, say, through their church or through some meeting they might have, and we'll go and free of charge provide that service. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for many years. I'd always keep my certificate up to date. I'm a counselor, which is the main focus of what I've done in this school system. And I was a counselor in private practice also, which gave a lot of information about the community of people, the difficulties people were having in adjusting to certain things and what they wanted to have in the community. I've been in many, many different professions. And when I look at what I've written down, what did you do, Linda? I think, my gosh, why did you do all these things? But I was, as I said, mental health therapist in private practice. I did marketing and state government research when I was in Tallahassee, going to college there for my master's degree. I have a master's from Tallahassee in English education, master of counseling from Rollins, bachelor of arts from in English from Jacksonville University, and the ESOL endorsement, and postgraduate work at the University of Florida. And then back to the business experiences. I managed the medical office for a short time. I've managed a retail position, and I've managed a restaurant. Now, that was a lot of fun too. And I've been a realtor. So many of these different things as I was gathering money to go through college, and as I was learning, my major professor told me that what you need to do in life is get the most experience you possibly can be to be the best teacher or counselor that you can be. And I have. I've gotten a lot of experience. And so therefore, it helps me understand a person out in the business community who's in a certain profession. Maybe it's one I've worked in. The last board meeting, we were talking about truck driving, and I thought, oh yeah, I did that one time to get money for college when I picked up vegetables at a market and brought them back to stores. So sometimes you forget what you do. I've been involved in the community right now, particularly in the Habitat for Humanity, and I keep my eye on getting places for teachers who are coming into the community, and they can qualify for Habitat and get a lovely, lovely home. Habitat carries the mortgage. I've been on the Citrus County Fair Board, Festival of the Arts for many years, Salvation Army board member in the past, Eckerd Youth Camp board member, Citrus County Family Visitation Board, and Little League sponsor, my husband and I was an umpire in Little League. And they told me that there are a lot of women who are umpires. And when I found out, no, they aren't, I was the only one recruited by them. I guess I was the only one who said yes.
Linda, let's go ahead and dive into some of our questions now.
Yes, I was just going to say, now can we do that? Thank you.
So this first question has got a couple parts to it. So we'll kind of we'll tackle it as we we unpack it. And that is, so what are your thoughts on vocational education versus academic education? And how does that align with the needs of our community for future job opportunities for our students?
It's a very good question. Both of them are absolutely necessary. It's not an either or situation that you have to answer to. You can do both. Like a moment ago, I said, yeah, I drove a truck, right? But I also had a master's degree. I was getting a master's degree. So you can do both. And the companies need people who are experienced, who know what they're doing, who can work well for them, and therefore the students need to learn that. They need to go to school or go maybe in training to be able to learn what the job entails. And it's very complicated. I had a person who was a plumber out here at the house, and I watched him, and that's not something easy to do. I don't think I could do that very well. But the kids who are in school, I feel they should not just be an academic and just study poetry or what some people think students just do. They should do that, and then they should also learn some sort of position, some sort of job training. They should be something. I've always felt when they graduate from high school, they should be able to walk out that door. And if they're going to college, great. If they're going to a job to earn money for college, great. Or if they're going straight into a job to be what they want to be the rest of their life, that's also great. Both of them are. None of
So
us, I think, should be one-sided.
very good. And so we can just, I've got a second part of that same question that we'll hit on real quickly in just a few moments. And that is, so what would your plans be over in both those areas of academia as well as vocational studies within the next 5 years? And do you think along with that, that we have opportunities for additional specialty academies within the Citrus County School District?
I'll say yes to the last part of the question, then I'll go back. When I started teaching, I focused myself in the middle school on vocational as well as teaching the regular everyday subjects that one would teach: math, science, social studies. But I took the children over to WTC, let them go through the occupational handbook to see what kind of occupations were out there. And sometimes you're very surprised. You don't even know these jobs exist until you see it written down and think, hey, that's something I'm interested in. But I would take them on field trips over to WTC. Then it was with the Collegiate Institute. And they would visit the people who did the electricity, who did the plumbing, who did whatever job it was, or in the nursing field, we visited nursing classes. Students got very excited about what you could do and what it took to do things. And as a byproduct of that, very interestingly, their parents listened to what they were saying, and their parents enrolled or at least learned something about what the vocations that were offered. So the first time I walked into the classroom here in Inverness, I started with talking about vocational, and I always did it all the years, 10 years I was at the middle school. I had trips to WTC to learn more about the jobs in the community. And for the future, I think that we should offer other academies. We offer academies now in health. We offer academies in art. But we should offer more academies. We have 3 high schools, or offer them at the middle school level too. Let's offer more at the high school level. People should, I feel, should be trained in what they want to do when they get out of school, whatever school it is, or they should be trained. And if they're going to college, find training, go to college. But don't leave out the vocational. Very, very important. All you have to do is look at my resume and see the different jobs I did to see how important I thought it was, because I don't say it, I do it.
Very good, Linda. So I'm going to introduce now Rob Wardlow. Rob is the treasurer of the Citrus County Chamber of Commerce. He's a board member, and he also is a member of our Government Affairs Committee. So Rob's got the next question for you.
Hi, Rob.
And Rob, you are muted.
That helps. You couldn't hear me, could you? So Linda, what role do you see local businesses playing to facilitate job expos, internships, apprenticeships, and in-class instruction, and et cetera?
I think that is an absolutely terrific question. Again, going back to the middle school years when I taught there, I would bring businesses in, different businesses from all over the community, and they would talk to the students and they would say, this is what I do. I'm a diver, and here's what it takes to be a diver. Or this is what I do. I'm a restaurant owner. This is what it takes to be a restaurant owner. So they would talk to the students, so the students wouldn't just hear or read about something, hear it on a video, read about it. They saw the person who actually did that. They saw the nurse she came in a nurse costume, or he came in a nurse costume. They saw that, and then in fact that was one of the very popular fields. So this became very real to them. And then giving them such books or working with them, the book was a very hard book, Occupational Outlook Handbook, but working with them to show them what jobs are available. It was like, wow, I like to do that. I didn't know you could do that as work. Yes, you can. And I think internships from the businesses in the community are incredibly a good idea. I think that then the children not only see it when it comes into the school system and hear it from the people, but they also go and they do it. They over the hospital, they will go internships in cooking and stuff. There are internships, in fact, everything. I think every job should have an internship that students could go and work at for a while, maybe even a full semester, but certainly a few weeks.
Very good. Thank you, Linda. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. So the next question is going to come to you from Stacy Worthington. Stacy is also a member of our Government Affairs Committee, and with her role in her involvement, she's a valuable asset to us. So she also has the next question for you.
Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you, John. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
What role should the schools have in making students aware of career opportunities locally?
When I was mentioning about working at Inverness Middle School, we brought the people in to tell the children about different careers that were available, and they got to visit the different businesses. The businesses were very happy to have them come and visit and stay. Usually they stayed for a whole day. So I think that the community should be involved in bringing the students into what they are doing so the kids know how real it is. And you're talking about government and learning about that. They should know about that too. So you can't just walk into an office and say, hello, I'm a counselor, sit down and start counseling. The requirements, you have to meet state mandates. So they need to know that it's not just, gee, I want to do that, let's do it. You have to have certain things that you learn, and that you go into the government and get permission to get things, forms you have to fill out by the dozens. Don't tell them that, but you have to fill forms out to be able to do this sort of thing. And was there another part of your question?
The question was about what would the school's role be in making students aware of the career opportunities that are here locally?
Okay, I mentioned the Occupational Outlook handbooks that I used to use all the time, and then having the students visit the different businesses, bringing the business owners in, so they're real flesh and blood, that the students see and think, wow, that person owns a McDonald's. That's good. I like that. Maybe I'll own a McDonald's. So by going to the businesses and asking the businesses to come in and share with us, with the school system, that makes it real, makes it vital to the student, and gives them a sense of what they can do in the future. So I think it's very, very important. In fact, every field, I think it's very important to have the community and the schools involved with each other. They're not separate entities. You don't wake up in the morning, go to school, and then in the afternoon, everything stops, and you're no longer a student. You're a student your whole life, and every single thing you do. And I think making students aware of that is really a vital issue, particularly by going to the business. I don't know what business you've been in, but if you bring a student in, let's say you're in golfing, you bring a student in, give them a golf club and show them how to golf. That's much better than just showing it on a screen and saying, here's the ball, here's the club, you hit them. That's how it should. No, that doesn't excite anybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Linda, we're going to shift gears here a little bit and talk about school safety. What are your thoughts on the school safety plans? Are they adequate? And if so, why or why not?
Everyone in the school system, is trained in safety. We have a program called Alice, and I'm sure you've heard about it. Someone coming onto campus who shouldn't be there, an individual who is threatening, who's a threatening person to the school system. So the students and the teachers and all the staff are trained. This is what you do if an individual comes on campus who's a danger to us. So that's one of the programs. We've always, as long as I've been here, been trained in safety measures. It's just now the world has changed so much that not only do you need the training you originally got, or the basic training, you need much more. And we were doing that too. for bringing people in. And we have our own police force that comes in, and they are trained, and they're ours, so they aren't called off campus in case something happens. They stay with us and work with us if something needs to be done. So we do have it. We've always had it. It's just the need is so much greater with the world that we live in today. And not the need, just physical need, the mental need too. Part of that is the mental health issue. And part of it for the adults in particular, recognizing what a person may have as a problem. And then the person reports that, say, to a teacher, to administrator, to someone. We have whole groups, whole committees that will immediately go into action if a person is reported as having an issue that could affect a lot of people. And then if it's an issue just affecting them, then we put them in the counseling with a counselor, with a social worker, with someone trained in mental health. And we are training more and more and more people in mental health. And one particular thing about that, training in mental health is just not something sitting down, taking a class, listening for an hour or two. When you go say to get a master's in mental health, which you should have if you're in there working with it, it's a lot of work, many hours, and it's brings you to the point where you can do something, you can just do it effectively. If you just have a little bit of training, an hour or two here or there, you can do more harm than good. You need to be trained to know what exactly to do in the situation you're facing.
Thank you so much, Linda. And Rob Wardlow has our next question for us.
You know, Linda, we've all seen recently the headlines with teacher shortages and other school staff shortages throughout our state. So what are your suggestions for addressing the issues that schools have in attracting and retaining teachers, bus drivers, and other school personnel? And a second part of that question, how should we address the changing dynamics of our educational issues?
What changing dynamics do you want me to address? Any particular ones, or?
Well, you know, we've got the changing dynamics of our workforce, people leaving other states and coming to Citrus County.
That's it.
We've got some of the educational dynamics of what do we teach in the classroom. You know, do we stick strictly to mathematics, science, and English? Those kinds of changing dynamics we have going on in the education system.
Florida has an advantage over some states. All you have to do is look outside, look at and see it's nice and green, and you know, we're here in October, and in some places it's 5 degrees outside, and it's not nice and green. It's everything's brown or not there at all. It's all, leaves are falling off the trees. We have, in general, the ability to show the people coming down a lovely state that is not in danger of having frostbite on when you walk out, or the people aren't in danger of that. So that's an advantage we have. And also we actively pursue this. We just don't let it happen. In fact, I found myself the other day, every place I go, I recruit, but I found myself talking to someone in y'all's profession, and I started to talk about, hey, would you like to come and work with the school system? What are you doing? You're recruiting from people right here. You shouldn't be doing that. But I do that every time I go any place and someone starts talking about education. If they're standing in a line at McDonald's, if they're down at the theater, if they're wherever they are, I talk about education and talk about what we have to offer. And you know, now with the increase in the monies to $47,000 for teachers from the governor, that we have more monies that attract people. I know in other states, salaries are higher, but in other states you have 0 degrees weather too. So you have to balance one against the other. As far as retaining people here, I think offering people who are teachers, or coming as teachers, the opportunity to take more classes and have the school system, which we have done in the past and will do in the future, bring those classes to the people. We're sitting right here and we're talking, you're in another place, I'm at home, and we have the technological ability to present things in different ways. And so therefore can recruit in different ways. We can go right straight into a school via TV and talk to the teachers who are there. So we do have that opportunity. Just look around us, look at the universities. So we have Florida State University in Tallahassee, University of Florida, University of South Florida, many, many universities right around us. If we want to go in person, it's there. You drive an hour and a half for most of them. The others, maybe you drive 3.5 hours, but it's still close. So we have a lot of positivity to bring to the people who are looking at Florida as a place to be. And they can move up. They can move up the ladder in certain things and get more money, get more responsibility, get more knowledge, and be able to share that knowledge with the students, with other teachers. Education just plain always excites me. And if you offer something in, I don't know, canning mushrooms, I'm there. I like it. I want to learn about it. And so we can offer all of that stuff to people because right outside you can do it. You can plant the mushrooms, you can harvest the mushrooms, you can bring them in the kitchen. We have a lot we can do.
Very good. Thank you so much, Linda. I'm going to also look to Stacy for our final question from Stacy Worthington.
And by the way, would any of you like to join us in teaching? Let me know.
Well, I currently have a job, but thank you for the offer. Linda, what is your position on the recent mandates from the governor and legislature regarding the curriculum? What is the best way to help teachers navigate the new mandates?
Okay. I'm on the legislative committee and put together and send up ideas for the legislature to be able to look at and to be able to discuss with us. And they do discuss with us, our people discuss with us. But some of the things are very confusing because I know when I read them, when we sit there at a school board reading and we're reading over something that just came from Tallahassee, and your question goes straight to our attorney, what does that mean? It's not really clear. You can react to it, do what you think it says, but it's not clear. So I think the first thing is to be able to give all of us clear direction, absolutely clear direction in what we're supposed to be doing. And then sometimes what is that you think you're supposed to be doing maybe not be what you are really supposed to be doing. And also you have, unfortunately, here I am sitting to you running for office. I'm a politician. I'm going to tell you politics shouldn't be in education. So you're saying, right, why are you sitting here? But politics, I feel, should not be in education. Education is about learning. It's not just about the basics. Because some people say, let's return to the basics. You do need to have the basics. If you've left the basics, you should return to them. But that's not the only thing. You have what we just talked about, safety. You have mental health. You have learning at a significant level where a person really knows what they're doing, both in technology, in the business world, in the academic world. You have all of those. So it is confusing. And sometimes people, when they bring politics in it, then they say, well, this is what I believe, and therefore I'm not doing that. I'll tell you that. Well, you're going to have to do it if it is a law. We should not be teaching our students, our children, to break laws. We should be teaching them, if they disagree now with that law, change it. Get a program together to change it. Go ahead and do it. That's okay. But refusing to go less than 60 miles an hour is not your choice. And you're going to be wrong if you do. If the police stop you, then you're wrong. They're not wrong. They're doing what the law says to do. Was there a particular thing that you wanted me to address, though, in what the governor has sent down?
I didn't have anything in particular. I think the question is surrounding some recent discussions on the legislature and the governor making changes to the curriculum as far as, saying children or elementary school children should not be provided information about gender or any of those types of topics, rather stick to classroom instruction. I think what they were trying to see is, do you have a position on that mandate?
Okay, I guess it depends what you're really talking about, providing information about gender. Any person going into any situation, school or wherever they're going, they are aware of different genders of boys and girls and
Excuse me, I
whatever.
think I probably misspoke on that because I didn't expect a follow-up question, but I think not specifically gender. What I mean is sex. I think it was regarding sex, having sexual instruction for children of a certain age, under a certain age.
You know, that has always been an issue in the school system. I can remember, again, going back to elementary school or to middle school, where you had a teacher who taught about growing up, something, you know, very, very simple about what happens to girls when they get a little older, what they go through. That's always been taught. I think if you're talking about teaching a child about sex, now what do you define sex, please, for me? I don't know exactly what I'm saying this to the legislature. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but there is an age at which it's appropriate because it's understandable by the student. But below that age, it might not be. You cannot walk up to a crib and start talking with an 8-month-old about sex. Now, when you get a little older, that doesn't make any sense at all. You have to do things that make sense.
I think, Linda, what I'm trying to say is there was a recent legislation passed by the governor and our legislature, which said, I can't remember, I think it was under 8 years old, but it was very national news. It made national news, and it was very highly publicized that in the state of Florida, they would no longer be allowing any educational curriculum. They would be prohibited from discussing topics of a sexual nature with kids under 8. And that's just specifically what that legislation is, what I asked about.
Okay, and I thought I answered that, but maybe go back to it. That a person has to be old enough to understand what's being taught. You just can't bring up, like I said, you can't go to the crib and say, this is what you're going to do when you get a little older. That's ridiculous. You have to be old enough to understand what's being taught. And in the school system, when you're teaching to the students, you need to teach what they need to learn. You can't just pick something out of the air. And if you decided, well, I think I'll talk about the menstrual cycle, and the child is 4 years old,
Okay.
they're not going to be able to understand that. Now, after if they're
Very
8
good,
years
Linda.
old, you might begin to have some notion of what you're talking about. Certainly when you're older, like in 12 years old, you can. But it has to be age appropriate, no matter what, if it's about sex or if it's about history, if it's about math, it has to be age appropriate.
Linda, thank you so much for your time today. We're going to give you just a couple minutes to kind of wrap up and close up and share with us. Again, this is going out to our business community that we represent, and the school system is a critical component of a successful business community. So just take a couple minutes to kind of close up for us. And again, thank you for your time today.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for the questions. I appreciate it. And I hope I answered what you asked me. And if you have further questions, we leave the screen, but if you have further questions, certainly please call. You can call me at home, call me in the school system when we have, when we gather down there, whenever you would. I think what I would like to say is, you said it already, school is so important. It's such an important part of the community. The school is not a little building with a bell at the top, and the teacher gets out and rings it, and all the kids come in and sit down in the classroom. And it's not like that. And maybe it never was like that, but people sometimes have that picture. in their mind of what school is. School is very complicated. School is as complicated as any job any person has. In fact, it has so many different elements of it that it challenges the students. I have always been in love with education. And as I said, it doesn't matter really what. If I'm talking about mushrooms being canned, good. I like that. I want to learn about that. I like education. I like to learn. I like every day of my life to be able to get up and learn something different, be able to enjoy learning. And with me running for office, the cause is not Linda being before you or being before any group. The cause is bigger than myself. The cause is understanding. The cause is education. The cause is having our children go out into this world with all that we can give them, because they are going to be the ones that are going to turn around and make the world that they're in, the world that we're in. We have to give them all we can give, all of our knowledge that is appropriate to give them, that is age appropriate, all of everything to give to the student. And I hope you will vote for me, because you are voting for a person who will always, always put the children at the forefront, always want the curriculum to be one that is a very competent curriculum, always want the children to study. And I want them to love education. And I want them to love and care about the human race, themselves and everybody else. It's exciting. And I do
Thank you
hope
so much, Linda. I appreciate it. Again, for those that are watching, this is the School Board District 5 race. We've got Linda Powers as our incumbent. So thank you so much for your time, and committee members, thank you guys for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
Linda.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.